Hello mates, I am Kiran Jadhav here. In this session, I will teach you Spring Boot with all HTTP methods like get, post, put, patch, delete. Get it is useful for read the data, post is save the fresh data, put is for update the existing data. You can say like modify the data. Patch it means partial updation and delete it means we are able to delete by ID, otherwise delete all data as well. Then we'll start with our session. Here we'll come up with the Chrome browser. Simply type Spring Initializer. We are creating the application here. Project as Maven. Spring Boot version we are using 3.4.0. Language as Java. Project information, the package name we are giving here com.fullstack. Then artifact we are giving our application name as Spring Boot HTTP methods. Example. Now refactor the base package. Packaging as jar Java version 17. Adding dependencies, we are using here DevTool for live load, Lombok for it will help us to reduce boilerplate code, Spring Wave we are using here itself available inbuilt Tomcat server and it will help us to create the REST APIs. Next we require the data GPA, persist data in SQL. It means you can simply say persistence layer. And the next dependency we are adding here data JP already we have added. Then we are adding here MySQL dependency as a database perspective. Now simply click on generate. See, within minute, production ready, application will be available there. Now copy the application and paste in particular folder. Now simply right click here and copy the path of our application. We'll come up with the Eclipse. Here I am using Eclipse. You can use STS. Yeah, you can simply use the IntelliJ as well. In Eclipse, goes to file, option available import. This is Maven project. Existing Maven project you can simply choose. The next, give the path of our application. See here is available form.xml file. Now simply click on finish. Then we are just waiting to see application is imported here successfully. Then we'll come up with the form.xml file and here as per our business requirement the Spring Boot version 3.4.0 the compatible Swagger UI dependency we are adding here under dependencies. Once we have added the dependency, next we'll come up with the src main resources in application.properties file. We are adding here database configurations. We are considering here database name as a HRMDB. Now simply right click on our application, do run as Maven build and type here clean space install. Once build is success, then you can simply start with your coding. Then meanwhile, we'll come up with our base package com.fullstack. Right click on that, new package, the package name we are giving here, this is model package. Next package we are creating the package name as repository package. Again we require the new package name as service package. Next package we are creating the new package name as controller package. Here we are adding one more package. The new package I am giving the package name as exception. Now coming to model package, we are creating here new Java classes employee. We'll come up with the repository. Here we are creating new Java. This is the interface employee repository. Coming to service package. Okay, service package is here. We need to refactor it because we haven't added the dot there. We are following a solid principle as well. Proper naming standards we are going to follow here. Now in service package, simply right click, new Java interface and the interface name is iEmployee service. Then again within service itself, we are creating new implementation class employee service IMPL. Now we have created the skeleton of our application. Simply right click on base package and refresh it. And coming to controller package, new Java class, we are giving here employee controller. And within exception package, we are creating here new Java class as record not found exception. Then see our build also success. Then goes to project and do the cleanup. Now we'll maximize the size of screen here, coming to employee.java, and we'll start with our coding. Annotation, we are using here at the rate data. This is Lombok annotation. It will help us to reduce the boilerplate code. We don't require the manual getter setter. Simply use at the rate data. At the rate all our constructor we are using at the rate nor constructor. Next we are using at the rate entity. Now we are using here at the rate table annotation, and the name we are passing here employee. Annotation we are using here at the rate ID. This is our primary key. We are using generated value as well. This is private int emp have id. And the generation strategy, we are mentioning this is identity because we are using here MySQL as a database. If you are using Oracle, then give the sequence. Now we are using private string. This will be emp name. Next we are adding here private. This will be double emp have salary. One more we are adding here. This is we are trying to add here employee address as well. Private string emp have address. At time being, I'm just adding here 4 variables. In your case, you can try to add number of variables. Control A, Control I, Control Shift F. It will format the code base. Now coming to employee repository, we are annotated with at the rate repository annotation here. Then here interface extends because data JP repo also interface only here. Then here we are giving our Pojo class name as employee, and the wrapper class we are passing here integer. And if you want to write any custom methods, you can simply write custom methods here. Now coming to interface, here we are declaring the abstract method. And first abstract method we are declaring here employee. You can simply say use as a save. And here we are passing employee as an entity. Next we are trying to write here find by ID. That's why I'm using here optional. This is Java feature we are using here to avoid pointer exception. Here I am giving this is find by ID and pass the input as integer type of emp id. Next we are trying to fetch all data. That's why I'm passing here list. This will be employee. You can say find all. Next is update perspective. We are calling here employee and we are just giving here entity as employee. And the last method we are writing here by delete by id. Pass here integer type of emp id. Now we'll come up with the service I am implementation class annotated with address service. This is mandatory annotation here, and we are using here implements keyword. There we are adding interface. Now whatever abstract methods in interface you need to implement in implementation class, then simply click on add unimplemented methods. We are using at the by private. This will be employee repository. It means whatever methods available there, we are going to use in our service layer. And service is the intermediate between repo and controller. Then here save perspective, we have available employee repo save method there. All the entity as employee. Next find by ID perspective, you can simply say employee.find by ID, pass the ID as input here. This is emp ID as input. Next find all, we are passing here find all. Next is update. There is not available update method, there is available save method. And if ID is not available there, we'll throw employee record not found exception. And delete by ID perspective, you can simply call here delete by ID. Employee report dot delete by ID. EMP ID is the input parameter. Control A, Control I, Control Shift F. It will format the code base. Now coming to next is record not found exception. Annotate with here at the response status. And here we are mentioning the value as not found. It means 404. Then here we are using extends runtime exception. You will be able to use exception as well as throwable, but I am just mentioning here runtime exception. Now we are adding here public. This will be record not found exception, and here we are creating this is parameterized constructor. I am passing string type of message there, and then simply use super message. This way we handle here custom exception code as well, like record not found exception. Now coming to next, and this is the last layer. We are coming with the employee controller. Annotate with at REST controller itself available at response body. Next we are using request mapping. It will give the direction of our application. This URI I am passing here employees. If you want to add some logs, then you can simply use the SLA4 as well. Here annotate with at rate at to white. We are mentioning this is private I employee service and this is service. Then first API we are writing here get mapping. Otherwise you can simply start with the post mapping because save the phrase data, save data, right? Yeah, post mapping. And the API name itself we are giving save. This is public response entity data for our employee. Simply say method name as save. Here we are passing a request body as annotation. Then pass here employee as a input. Now return this will be response entity dot okay. We are simply calling here employee service layer. There is available save method and passing the input as employee. And if you want to add any log here, then simply use log.info. And here you can mention trying to save data for particular employee. I am just using here get name of that employee, particular employee, whatever you are trying to save data. Then here we are using trying to save data for particular employee, right? Or you can say employee. Then coming to next is add rate get mapping, and here we are passing this is find by ID. Input we are going to pass here EMP ID as the input. Should be public response entity. This will be we are giving as optional of our employee. If you say find by ID, we are passing here method. Here we are passing input parameter. That's why we are passing here path variable. Type is integer type of EMP ID. Now simply to return response entity dot okay and call here service layer. Employee service dot find by ID and pass the ID as input parameter. Next get mapping we are writing here. This is for find all. Public again we are passing here response entity. This will be type of list. This will be type of our employee. We are expecting this will be type of our employee. The method itself we are giving find all. Now return response entity dot okay. We are calling here service layer plus service dot find all. This way we done with the find all as well. Then here this is our method. We need to correct the syntax here. Now next is put mapping. Put mapping it means we are trying to update the data. Here I am passing update API name on the basis of EMP ID. We are passing here this will be public response entity data we are trying to update for employee. The method name we are giving update. Then we are passing here path variable integer type of EMP ID, comma separated we are passing a request body our employee. Now we are adding here employee I'm giving 1 equal to employee service dot find by ID. If ID is available there, then we not going to throw the exception. But if ID is not available, then simply or is thrown. We are using Java feature here, lambda expression. Simply say new record not found exception. This exception we are trying to throw here. New record not found exception. And here we are passing custom message, user defined message, whatever you want to pass. I'm just passing here employee dash ID does not exist. And again ending with semicolon we are giving. Now we must know to you can simply call here again employee if ID is corresponding ID record is available there, then definitely there is no exception. And if ID is not available, it will throw employee not found exception here, record not found exception. Employee ID does not exist. Now if ID is available corresponding, then definitely it will fetch the data and we are trying to modify the data. Then employee one dot set emp name will get it from employee dot get name. It means this data coming from database and whatever this employee it coming from UI user interface either React screen, otherwise you can simply use the Swagger or Postman API. In this session we are using Swagger UI and the same data we are passing to our database. Now again I'm calling here employee one dot set. This is for address. Employee dot get address. Next employee one dot set salary. Employee dot get salary. And here you can simply use return response entity dot OK. Call here employee service dot update and please pass your employee one. If you are passing employee, it will give us the issue. Okay. Now coming to next, this is our patch mapping. Patch mapping it means for partial updation. Then patch mapping we are giving the API change address. We are trying to change the address. Whatever EMP ID we are passing that corresponding, we are trying to change the address. And here we are passing EMP address as well. And this will be public. Then simply use response entity here. Type it will be employee and the method change address. We are passing here two input parameter. First one we are passing here path variable integer type of emp id, and again second one path variable. This will be string type of emp have address. We are passing two input parameter here. Now this code we are just using here. If id is not available there, then we'll throw the exception. But if id is available there, right, then simply call here employee one dot set address and you will get the address as well here. This address is coming from end user itself. Then here this will return a response entity dot OK. In patch mapping we are just trying to update the partial data. Here I am passing this is employee. But if you want to say here employee, you can say the employee as well. Okay. Yeah. Now next, and this is the last API we are writing in this session. This is for delete mapping. Say delete by ID. On the basis of input parameter we are passing here emp id. We are going to delete the data. Will be response entity type you are passing here. Type as string. Say delete data by id. Input parameter we are giving here path variable. This will be integer type of emp id we are passing. Now simply call here input service dot delete by id. Pass the emp id as an input. Now return. This will be response entity dot OK. Use string type of message. Data deleted successfully. This is the way we done with our entire coding practices. Now we'll start with our application. Then coming to main class main method, simply right click here and start the application. Run as Java application. Yeah, application started successfully. The port number is 8080. Then we'll come up with the Swagger UI testing. Simply pass this is localhost swagger-ui.html. Yeah, it's up and running. Then post it is used for to save fresh data. I will pass the data here. I'm passing data here Swara Data. Next, employee address we are passing here PCMC India. Next, salary we are passing here 98,000.22. Try to execute. Data is inserted, right? Yes. Next, we are adding here Darshan. We are giving surname as Shinde. Is we are going to add here Pune, India. And the salary is 99,000. Try to execute. See, record is inserted into database, right? Now we'll see same data. Is it available in database or not? Yes. Use the database and then select start from employee. There is two records available. Now we are trying to find all. Try it out, execute. Data is fetching, right? Perfect. Now we'll try to update the data for Darshan, the employee ID 2. Then here we are passing 2 and the record. Now instead of Pune, I am expecting here Mumbai, India. Just execute. ID please remove from here and then execute. Updated successfully. Same response like data will be available in database as well. Now Darshan from Mumbai, India. Perfect. The next is we are passing here 1001. We are expecting 404 like record not found exception. See one screen. This is 404. It means not found. And the record not found exception, the custom message is employee ID does not exist. Even our application also not goes to crash. See, here is our application not goes to crash. It's just adding like record not found exception and employee ID does not exist. And if you are checking here, see, we have added the log as well. Log also coming here actually. Trying to save data, right? Perfect. Now again coming to next. Next is API. Next API is patch mapping. Patch mapping, it means we're trying to update the address, right? Then try it out. I want to update the address for Sora. Now Sora address we are giving here Pune, Maharashtra, India. Execute it. See, data update successfully. Data patch successfully. Change address successfully. Partial updation. We are just updating the address only. See. So let's start from employee. Now Sora is showing PCMC India, right? We need to check why it's not updated. Use it. And again, let's start from employee. It's showing PCMC India. Then we need to check why it's not updated. For that perspective, we'll come up with our code base in Eclipse. We have available our layer, controller layer, and in that, see, here we are just passing employee, right? We haven't called the service layer. Then call here, this is employee service dot, you can call here update, and we are passing employee as an input. Now simply come up with the project. Yeah, dev tool is working, live load is working there, right? Then live load is working, simply execute. Yeah, we are expecting data goes to update in database as well. Yeah, data is updated patch successfully, change address by using patch mapping also. See, patch mapping also it's working. We have given here Pune, Maharashtra, India for Sora. The same address updated in database as well. Only address is updated, name is same. Now coming to next, and this is the last API we are trying to test. Delete data bytes ID. I want to delete second number record. See, data is deleted successfully. Such a way, we have tested here all the APIs like post for save the fresh data, put for modify the existing data, patch for partial updation like change contact number, change address, get for read the data, and delete for delete the data bytes ID. Yeah, you can delete all the data, right? Then you can use the Postman API. In Postman API also, you will be able to see all the methods available there: get, post, put, patch, and delete. Right? Yeah. Same we use here Swagger UI for testing our APIs. Yeah, that's it in this session. Thanks for watching this video. And if you are facing any difficulties, feel free to add your errors in comment box. And please do like, share, and subscribe this channel. And see you in next.